Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I wanted to give an update on my health issues. You know, I've been having problems with health issues for a few years now, well, my whole life actually, pretty much because I have this rare health condition. I had it since I was a child. At some point, may have been basically right after I was born, who knows. But what I'm gathering now as time goes by and I hear more about it, and I think more about it, go back to when I was a child, and that the fact that my mother kept getting called into the school about me. And she had told me way back then different stories, like one time, basically it would have been what they call these days ADHD, but she said the teacher, that was first grade, she said that the teacher said that I was really smart and I would finish my my work fast, and this would be true because it was the same way as an adult at university, but could be true. And that I'd get bored of just sitting there, and the teacher asked if I could be her little assistant, and the teacher made me her little assistant, and putting little stars on people's papers and such. Okay, so might have been, but in the grade before that, I remember my mom got called in and was told that I was sitting, it was kindergarten now, that I was sitting in one of those tires. You know, they used to have tires out on the playground, maybe still do, big ones, and that I was sitting in one of them with a boy in my grade, you know, kindergarten kid, and we were kissing, and my mom got called in for that. And I remember sitting there going, yeah, I remember that day. It was like I told myself to commit it to memory. I didn't use this terminology, but hey, because I remember saying, that hasn't happened. No, I wasn't doing that. What was where did they get this from? And as time went by, my mom kept getting called in. Not every grade, but pretty much, I'd say for most of them until high school. Or maybe 50-50, but for different reasons. And it wasn't like I was doing something bad. It was just that something was happening. Like when I started getting symptoms of this rare health condition. I no longer say what it is. Two people try to steal it and claim it as their own. Oh, how pathetic these whether it was a copycat, the copycats, they're all e-beggars in some way. They're all swindlers. They're all, you know, digital panhandlers, you know, this kind of thing, in one way or another. People who are, you know, copycats, and they steal somebody else's ideas and all that. What else would you call them? They don't have their own brains their own capability, their own creativity, I should say. Strike the rest. But yeah, they don't have enough creativity to think of their own, so they take somebody else's. Yeah, I know what I call them. I don't think I would want to even say that. But anyway, how did I get on that? This, by the way, as I just recently learned after all these years, this is part of the health condition. This of me going with my own flow, pretty much. Stream of consciousness, kind of, sort of, in a way. It's part of it. And I made a video, I think, yesterday on some of it. I mentioned it at the end of the video. But there were so many different things that I did not know all these years were associated with this disorder. It's not a disorder, it's a rare health condition. It's a syndrome, actually. And I had no idea that it was part of that. I guess when 80% of the population that has it, you know, a population of the USA, has it and is estimated 80% of those who have it are still undiagnosed. Wow, that's not 80% of the population, it's 80% of those who have this health condition are undiagnosed. And what's the reason? Well, they won't really say it the way me, a sociologist, would use the terminology as ignorance, stereotypes, and prejudices is what causes them to do, the doctors and nurses, the healthcare providers, to leave it undiagnosed. It says something, hints, the NIH hints at some of this stuff, but I've yet to find one that used the correct terminology as I see it. Master's degree, sociology, yeah, I'd say ignorance, prejudice, stereotypes, that kind of terminology. Just because they're healthcare providers does not make them above everybody else, period. Full stop. But anyway, to move on, I've got a little bit of a stomach ache. So, I'm sitting here feeling like, I'm starting to feeling not well. And I think it had too much just chili meat. Yeah. Anyway. And for me, one of the things about it is eating, I don't eat enough as it is. And when I do try to eat enough, because I have to have certain things, like everybody has to have certain things, but because of my health conditions it causes, I have to eat certain things. Never tend to get enough. And one of them has to do with protein. Certain kind, certain way, this, that. Yesterday I managed. Every day is a struggle. Every day. And yesterday I managed in one meal, not all of it in one meal, but it was quite a bit in one meal I ate. And then I checked my glucose after that. Said, okay, I need to eat this, that. And it was the first time that I recall, I'm 62, first time I recall feeling full. I hear people talk about, oh, they feel so full. Even I would say sometimes, oh, that really filled me up. And it really didn't fill me up. Because as it is, I don't eat enough. But yesterday, for whatever reason, I know the reason, I ate enough. And it felt good. It felt good to finally feel that feeling. I feel full. You know, what I'm guessing people mean by that. You know, I did not feel any need to eat anything else. But anyway, this is part of my update is that, when was it? Day before, not yet, evening before last, I got a phone call. Wait, what day is it today? It was 2 days ago. And from a pharmaceutical company confirming information about me. And she said to give her 3 business days. I'm guessing it'll still be next Monday or so. And today is what day? Thursday. And she said she'd call me back, and then after that they would be sending, I'm guessing they're going to send the medication finally. Now if it's some crap comes up and they say, oh, it's going to cost you $1,000 a month, or it's supposed to be the maximum, it's supposed to be $90 a month. Doctor said to get the pharmaceutical company involved, and it could be nothing. Watch it be something. Now, this has been the story of my life. I'm serious. I don't believe in jinxes and stuff like that. I just say it's the story of my life. They've had this medication out since, I think, 10 years, and none of these doctors I've seen have told me about it. None until this past year. I think it was this past year, maybe the end of the year before. Yeah. It's pathetic. It's very pathetic. So they don't want to get involved because they might get sued for malpractice somewhere. This is pathetic. It really is. So anyway, they're going to be sending me, if they send me the medication, if no big old drama comes out of it and I don't get it anyway, it's not going to fix the problem. The only thing that would fix the problem is to have surgery. And I've heard everything from for the past 20, Before then they didn't have surgery, from what I understand. Then once they got it, it was too risky for me to have it. Plus, the newest one, he says, I'm not going to mention the name of it and all that. He says that, first time he said it was because of my age. Oh, dude, you're not that much younger than me. So, that did not make me happy. And then the next time he said, this last time he said something about they don't know which what exactly. Well, they know what's there's my squirrely. They know what's causing it, but they don't know which one is causing it. Okay, so, and I'm seeing my squirrel. I'm having she loves making me have a squirrel moment every time I come out here. She comes out. So I say she, I think it's two. I think it's a male and a female. I just call them squirrely. Okay, that resolves all the issues. But anyway, this whole thing right here you're hearing. Now see, I knew that I wasn't always like this. I didn't make videos before, so I couldn't say that for certain about videos because I wasn't making videos before. You know, this whole condition reared its ugly head again, or what, I don't know what you would call it, because I was always, like I say, I think about these videos, what I want to do on the video before I make them, and it sounds all it's as if I had written it all out, very clear, very, would the word be concise, very, direct to the point. But then I click on that video, I click the button to make the video, and it gets all messed up. It's all like stream of consciousness, like I just said, go with the flow, this kind of thing, and jumping like that. I was not always like that, and that, like I said, it's what's part of this health condition. And from what I'm having to put the pieces together, really, is that in 2023, when I gained a whole bunch of weight all of a sudden, like 48 pounds, right at 50 pounds. Imagine, my goodness. And then I started having problems with my stomach and my navel, and I mean, just on and on problems. It was, and nobody was explaining them to me. I would go, 2023, I went to, I don't know how many times, to the hospital ER because of it's kind of gross, and I don't like repeating it, but I'm going to say something gross here, so know that it's gross. Was that my navel was pouring, but blood was pouring out of my navel. Okay, and some other kind of smelly stuff. And they wouldn't tell me what it was. Most they would say, even Adam was with me. There were times he was in the room with me, and one time especially, he goes, "Did they say anything? Anything that makes any sense, makes any of it?" No. Nobody, none of them ever wanted to commit to it, to a diagnosis, to anything. Not then. Then I got insurance, started going to their hospitals. Nobody. Still, 2024. I was even admitted in 2024. Nope, they're not gonna put their John Hancock on it or whatever it's called. Nope, they weren't going to do it. So I have to get the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay, and basically this was it. That my rare health condition reared its ugly head. And now one of the doctors did say that this, within the past few months, said, yeah, that's probably what it was. And I suddenly gained a bunch of weight. And that's what caused my navel. Plus, another doctor had mentioned that I could have had yet another rare health condition, and that was when I was born, my umbilical cord, my navel, the end of my navel didn't, what was the terminology they used it for? It didn't close up right, so that's why there was blood. And some of these doctors would say, well, I bet you think it's better that it's coming out instead of staying in. Smart Shame on me. But they say it so sarcastically. You know, the blood and all coming out instead of staying inside. Well, I'd like to have a diagnose, thank you, instead of your smart mouth. Really, these doctors are children. The ones that I've ran across that would do this. I'm not saying all doctors. I'm saying the ones that do this. You know, I'm not new to this planet. I make videos on what? Yeah, I have, even before I was making videos. I was, you know, doing a lot of work about certain disorders. Anyway, so I'm putting the pieces together, and that the whole thing I mentioned about my mother being called into school. In the past, I mentioned this about in the 7th grade, my social studies, imagine this, social studies teacher, right in the middle of a lesson, she started talking about something totally unrelated, and that was a health condition, and I'm sitting there in my class, and I'm looking up at the projector, what they have, what she has on the thing, and I'm going, that seems like me. No, if that's me, she wouldn't tell the whole class. That would be embarrassing for me. But things were different back then. And my guess is that, because it had nothing to do with what was going on, what she was talking about. All of a sudden she did this, and then she went back to that. And my thought was that they told her she had to. You know, my thought then, all these years until recently, I'm talking like maybe just this year, to 2026, it's February 19th, I realized she probably was told to do that. So that the class, social studies, get it, the class would not be bullying me because it's a rare health condition. You see? I mean, so many things, my brain is finally going back that far until now, you know, even, you know, from childhood, really seriously thinking more and more and more about this stuff and seeing what they're saying now and how it's happening now, what little is being said, I should say. And it's like, oh my goodness, you know, all these, my life was so messed up because of lazy doctors, because they were not lazy, but, well, maybe even lazy, because one of them in 2024 said that it makes it so much more difficult for her. For her. What about for me? And I mean, I always knew that, I've always said that these doctors in all these years, the only ones that were different were the ones in California. Seriously. They were right there saying, yeah, this is what it is, and this, that. And that was back in the 1990s. And like I said, probably they told my mother, but she didn't tell me. They didn't talk about, she never talked about stuff. She suffered from, I truly believe, agoraphobia. And just the fact that she had to go down to the school was so taxing for her, you know, at all. Oh, I am starting to feel a little sickly. But anyway, so there's where it stands now. I'm waiting to get on a medication. And this time I told the doctor, I said, look, because there was another one that they wanted to try to get me on, and it's a brand new. I said, I'm not doing it. Don't ever ask me to get on. You know what? He knows now, because I talked to him before and told him, I'm not taking any medication that's newly out. I mean, I'm talking like it's just now coming out. It's just now people are starting to use it. Like maybe as of last year, and the end of the year before, something like that. No. The reason they found out that I had this rare health condition was back in the year 2000. I took a medication that was like that. It just came out, and I took, you know, they put me on it. So it was for diabetes, and I wound up with pancreatitis. Talk about painful. And they put me in the hospital, and the hospital did a CT, and when they did the CT, they found that I have this rare health condition. Okay, now, prior to that, the doctors in California had already told me, but they had not done a CT. Well, this one I have now, he said, Why didn't they do a CT back then? I'm thinking that was the year 2000, and they did it in the 1990s. I'm gonna remember why they didn't do that. I didn't even know that they would do that. I didn't know. Okay, he's the same one who asked me what kind of medication, what was the name of the medication my mom had given me when I was a child. The medications have changed, and it was over-the-counter medication. How was I going to remember the name of it when that was like 50-something years ago? I have to remind him every once in a while. Hello, that was many, 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 many years ago. And I'm going to remember that. No. And actually, I kind of do, but shh. I'm serious. They gave me this, my mom gave me this medication. It had something to, I don't remember even why she gave it to me. And, see there, I don't remember that. But it caused my gums to bleed. Seriously. And who knows if it was my gums or if it was worse. I was a child. And I remember she got freaked out about it. Yep, rambling all over the place. This is part of this health condition. Amazing. I should have known. I'm feeling a little sickly, so I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know. I'm going to want to make other videos. I'm just glad to be outside. Okay. Oh, got yawn. Wrapping it up.